What is the best diet for 2022 that will help you burn fat and get shredded? I'll explain. They say that abs are made in the kitchen, but what if I told you that everything from building muscle and burning fat comes from having your nutrition in check? Following nutritional advice can sometimes be overwhelming and super complicated to follow. Like, what even is a macro? Is there a way to just streamline the whole diet thing? Do you actually have to do cardio? All good questions. Today, I'm going to teach you my method of madness and what I feel is the best, most simplest way to diet in 2022. If we even want to call it that. I prefer to say 5 steps to look and feel great in 2022 and beyond, all while getting some abs and biceps in the process. Ready for this? Let's dive right in. Number 1 step to look and feel great in 2022, and really the foundation of your diet plan for starting out strong in 2022, is calories in versus calories out. But hear me when I say that not all calories are created equal. I'll get into that in a second. In a nutshell, our body weight is regulated by energy balance. For instance, the average person, keyword average, burns about 2,000 calories a day. So if they are consuming more than 2,000 calories, your body isn't able to regulate the caloric intake or burn those excess calories, and therefore they stay stored as fat. It's the body's intention to use them later. But when people get into this habit of consuming more than they burn, rarely does the body use these calories later. So in turn, they get stored and contribute to increasing amounts of adipose tissue or fat. On the flip side, if you eat less calories than your body burns in a day, it makes sense that the average person's body would then break down that extra fat, use it as energy, which then causes the body to lose weight. So to be very clear, if you want to lose weight, you will have to eat less calories than your body burns in a day. Don't come at me in the comments about it, it's a fact. But this is where it does get a little muddled. Not all calories are created equal, and it's definitely not a perfect science. And just because it's low calorie doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy for you. I think we can all agree that 100 calories of an apple hits differently than 100 calories of an Oreo or Chips Ahoy cookie. It is much more to do with what food you're consuming and what it's composed of. Which leads me to number 2, macronutrients. Don't start hyperventilating or getting overwhelmed when you hear this fancy science word, often referred to as macros for short. Macros are like food broken up into 3 main categories of nutrients you eat the most and provide you with most of your energy. Number 1, protein. Number 2, carbohydrates or carbs for short. And number 3, fats. So when it comes time to count your macros, we are counting the grams of protein, carbs, or fats that you are consuming. So, Dr. Wagner, are calories and macros related? And why should I care? Great question. If you want to get shredded for the summer, or at the very least, lose your winter coat, you're going to really want to listen up here. Or even bookmark this to come back to later. As I said before, weight loss happens because you burn more calories than you consume. But macro counting helps you understand where those calories come from and how they affect your body. And as we determined earlier, not all calories are created equal. Now to dive further, 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. So if you eat 125 grams of protein, 125 times 4, you're eating about 500 calories from the protein, leaving you about 1,500 calories to split between your fats and your carbs. On average, most experts come up with the conclusion macronutrient distribution ranges 45 to 65%. Daily calories should come from carbs, 20 to 35% from fats, and 10 to 35% from protein. And of course, going back to our calories in versus calories out, in order to lose weight, we should be eating fewer calories than you burn. There is no standard amount of macros a person should eat. It differs from person to person and depends on your height, your weight, your activity level, your age, and your own personal goals. I'll give you my macro breakdown as an example. Right now, on average, I eat 185 grams of protein a day, 195 carbs a day, and 60 grams of fat a day. I'll link to a cool macro calculator that can help you out with this. If you'd like to see more of what I eat in a day, check out this video right here. Number 3 way to look good and feel great in 2022, working out. But here's the thing, you do not, I repeat, you do not have to spend hours at the gym doing cardio. I mean, look at me for instance. I lost 20 pounds of fat and put on muscle. with minimal amount of cardio. Believe me when I say there are plenty more direct ways to get gains at the gym. The first way is you gotta be committed to at least working out. This isn't a once every blue moon type of deal. You have to be committed to moving your body. But that's not to say you have to join a fancy schmancy gym either, because you don't. On the flip side, if you do want to join a fancy schmancy gym, I do encourage it because they have all sorts of cool machines and weights, but you do not have to join a gym to get the benefit of big biceps and lean abs. Now, I know what you were thinking about, but Dr. Wagner, how do I get abs? I want a six-pack. Believe me, I've been there. For me, I commit to working out 4 days a week for 45 minutes a day. Each day is a bit different, but here's what I can tell you. I focus on muscle groups that burn a lot of calories. I'm going to type up the types of workouts that I do on a daily basis and link it in the description below. You can download it as a PDF. I think it will be really helpful to kickstart your workout routine. Lastly, notice I said routine. This, my friends, is something you have to get into the habit of or create a routine with. I'm not saying go hard 7 days a week. You can if you want, but you do have to commit to staying consistent. I mean, you didn't graduate high school or college by showing up once a semester, am I right? You have to show up for yourself. Number 4, calorie surplus. I want to mention it, but not go too crazy into it because I feel it may overwhelm some of you who are just starting out. But if you want me to do a full video on it, be sure to let me know because I can do a whole nutrition video on just this. A calorie surplus is especially important after you've gone through the initial step of losing the fat and weight. But it involves consuming more calories than you burn to put on extra weight for the purpose specifically of gaining muscle. Basically, it is defined first as a period of weight loss, then you add calories back to promote muscle and strength gains. This has to be done in conjunction with working out though. Otherwise, we get back to square one of eating more calories than we consume, aka putting on fatty weight rather than gaining muscle. Again, if you want me to do a full video on this, just let me know because this is a whole other can of worms, better discussed a month or two from now once we've all been committed to consuming less calories in order to promote fat and weight loss. Number 5 way to look good and feel great in 2022, it's what I call the X factor. This is sort of a combination of things. Extra water, extra supplements, extra sleep. Consuming extra water is a huge part of losing the weight battle. Water stimulates fat loss, makes your skin look better, cleans out your system. It's good for so many of these processes, so definitely consume more. Most adults are dehydrated, and so my advice is to drink upwards of a gallon of water a day. Also, extra supplements. I get asked all the time about supplements. Do I think you need to go hard and take, say, creatine, pre-workout? Not necessarily, but I would recommend taking things like multivitamins, maybe some protein supplements that promote balanced nutrition, help with fat loss, and muscle gain. So what's the best diet of 2022? I, for one, wouldn't peg it into one certain diet, but rather a lifestyle integration of not consuming more calories than you burn on a given day. Being aware of or even keeping track of your macros to make sure you're consuming the right type of healthy calories that promote weight loss and lifting weights or just keep moving. It's also really super important to understand that you have to create a routine that is sustainable. Fad diets that make you fast for days on end or only eat weird specialty food groups is really not doable in the long run. What I am suggesting to you is something that you can integrate in and make part of your routine. And I practice what I preach. I've really been on a more focused version of what I've been describing to you for the last 6 months or so, really holding myself accountable to eating the right type of calories and working out 4 days a week. I've lost 20 pounds and put on a lot of muscle and even have a six-pack. I'm committed to eating healthier and moving my body every day. That's been a quick Best Diet 2022 breakdown with me, Dr. Wagner. Let me know in the comments if you have any diet or nutrition suggestions that you really found worked for you. I'd love to hear about your experiences. As always, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification as well as that like button. Thank you so much for watching and stay healthy, my friends.